Thank you for inviting me. My name is Torsten, and I'm going to talk about the secrets of the headhunter. So what is a headhunter? Any suggestions?
A person who's looking for people seeking jobs.
Exactly, a person who's looking for people who are seeking jobs. Like you.
The right person.
Yeah? The right person, exactly. Do I get paid a lot of money to do it?
Yes.
Exactly. Do I work very hard?
We hope so.
I'm going to tell you about that too. I'm the CEO of a company called Totem. I will go a little bit into the company in a short while. Okay, we have a team. I've brought Shakahan with me today. You can stand up. Shakahan is part of the team, and he comes from Turkey. He's the only guy who speaks a proper English in our company. Oh no, you don't. We try, right? Do you speak Danish?
I can tell. That's good.
Yeah, a little, right? So everything changed in our company. We started to speak English, all of us, instead of asking him to speak Danish. So every time he comes into the room, everybody changes, right? So we speak English instead. Yeah. I will bring you behind the curtains of the industry of recruitment, or the recruitment industry in Denmark. Then I will tell you how to get on the merry-go-round. Where is it, and what is it? So I will tell you a little bit about that. Then I will tell you why networking is not working. Do any of you have ever heard that you should network your way into a job?
All this time.
Raise your hand if you have heard that. Okay, all right. Of course, networking is fine, but I will tell you a little bit about what I call intelligent aggressiveness in networking. So the two words intelligent and aggressive will come into what I want to talk about when networking. Do any of you know what happened in 2008? Crisis! Financial crisis. Do any of you come from the States? United States? America? One. Is bankrupt a good thing in the States?
Depends on what business you're in.
Yes. Depends on what business you're in. Kind of the when you are asking someone in the States about their career and what has happened, and they say I went bankrupt, then everybody say, oh, what did you learn from it? Right? In Denmark they say, what did you do wrong? Right? I don't think we did a lot of things wrong, but of course we learned from it. The question I have is, how many jobs do you think are open and are shut, or is filled every month in Denmark? So consider the Danish job market and think about how many jobs are actually filled every month. Can I get some numbers for that?
2,000.
2,000?
50,000.
50,000? Quite a spread.
5,000.
What do you think? You, with the white.
10,000.
What?
10,000.
10,000? Yeah? So 2,000, 10,000, 50,000. Yeah? Okay. I have the number. Right, so I'm just saying. You in the back with the grey shirt, what do you think?
500.
500? The speed is 60,000 per month. 60,000 jobs are filled in Denmark every month.
Yeah.
60,000 jobs. When I heard this number the first time, I thought, that's not true. So it can't be done. But then, when you go behind the number, what is behind the number? It's also people who are just changing within an organization. Yeah, and it's also people who are just changing in the industry. Right? So, of course it's a large number, but it's much higher than I thought. So that's what I call the merry-go-round, because we're standing in line. Some of you are standing in line to get on this merry-go-round, because it does go round. Now, why do jobs become vacant? Well, there's always a certain pool of vacant jobs that just move around, right? Because when one job is vacant and a guy gets it, then where he was before becomes vacant. That is a shadow number. We don't know how much it is. But this is where, of course, some of us have a chance. Kind of again, if you look on the merry-go-round, it's like the guy sitting on the giraffe, he wants to sit on the horse instead. So he moves from the giraffe to the horse, and then the giraffe is open. Right? So this merry-go-round, it goes around with a very, very high speed, 60,000 a month. Some people die, some people move to other countries. Yeah? And also there will be new job openings sometimes. Yeah? I love this metaphor actually. I think it's very good because it's the same, right? You're standing in the Tivoli. You're saying, oh, I want to get on. And it stops. And there are no seats. Have you ever tried this? Right? Have you tried it? Yeah? You run for it and then someone is taking the giraffe. Fuck, I wanted to go on. I can't. It's the same thing that is happening when you are applying for jobs. But how to get on? We want to know how to get on the merry-go-round. I have 2 strategies that I want to share with you. And I think this is strategies that I think are working for most people if they do it. The one I say, ask the master of the merry-go-round to let you on. Who's the master of the merry-go-round? I will come into that. And start with the giraffe, even if you like the elephant. It's like also when you want to have a partner, right? Not quite. So who's the master of the merry-go-round? Well, decision makers are the ones you should know, right? Decision makers about jobs are the people you should know. Actually, Shaka Khan and me, we're just middlemen. You shouldn't know. You should know us. You should know our clients. You should know the department manager at our clients. That's the person you should know. And this is, he said something about networking was not very nice to do. And now he's talking about I should know decision makers. Yes, but it will come into place in a little while when I talk about it. So, get to know the real decision makers because they are the people who can stop and start the merry-go-round. Do you think about this when you look for a job? You do, some of you? Yeah. How do you get to know decision makers? Network, right? Calling. Yes. I will come back to it in a little while, but the very aggressive, direct approach is really essential for this. If you don't do that, like when you're standing and looking on the merry-go-round in the Tivoli, and it goes round, it stops, and you don't ask the guy to stop in front of you with the giraffe. He will start it again. So you have to get to the decision maker. But it's hard, because they will also be called all the time, and oh, can you give me a job, or can you just, is there an opening with you? Well, you're the 5th person calling today about an opening. I don't have any openings. Fuck off. They don't say that, but they're nice, right? So get to know the real decision makers. So if you want to be hired in a company, and you have pointed out this company is the company I want to be hired in, go on LinkedIn or go on the website, find out who is the decision maker, send him a mail, call him, do stuff that is directly to them. And I call this approach to be intelligent, aggressive, but not American. I'm very glad it's not all Americans here, so I can say, explain this, right? What is this? Yes. Yeah, because how do we perceive Americans when they are networking and they are intelligent, aggressive? How do we perceive them? Maybe it's only me. I'm the prejudiced guy here, the only one who can be. No, we perceive them as real aggressive, right? We perceive them as people who are, they're getting in their car, they're driving to the company, they're standing there at 7 o'clock before the company opens up, and they're banging on the door at 8 o'clock, let me in! Have you ever tried it?
That's only the ones from New York.
That's only people in New York, yeah. I used to live in New York, so maybe it's,
We're
yeah.
not all like that.
No, I should change this to New Yorkers, right? Yeah. People in Connecticut are nice, right? Where are you from?
I'm from Florida. We're really quite
Oh,
nice.
you're cool people. Yeah, but what I mean with it is that you have to try to find out, can I do this in an aggressive way without being annoying? Because if you can't become annoying, then of course people will be annoyed, right? But you need to be aggressive at the same time. If you don't know exactly how, then try to talk with your friends about, well, I consider that I should do this, and then hear a little about feedback from your friends. Is this too aggressive, or is it actually too less aggressive? You get my point? You do? Fantastic. Okay? Then keep in touch with everybody you can. How many people in Denmark are on LinkedIn? I like numbers.
1 million.
1 million? Yeah, around 850,000 last count. Some of them had 2 profiles. 850,000 people in Denmark. The workforce is around 1.8 million or something like that, including everybody. So it's really high. in my experience, you need to have more than 200 to 300 connections to actually have enough connections to do the jobs that you have to do when using that kind of a database. So if you're not quite there now, try to improve that. And why I'm talking about LinkedIn is because that's the professional network we search in when we search for candidates. What does this start with the giraffe instead of the elephant? Right? It's kind of like a kiss on the guy who has blonde hair, even if you like guys who have brown hair. Well, another good approach, right? But what I mean with it is look for entry positions, but look in your industry. Look into what industry do I want to go into if I look further on. Because I will come back to that in a little while. The resume has to have some kind of red thread, we call it in Denmark, but some kind of navigation towards a goal. If we see like this, I've done many, many things, we will ask, why have you done many, many things? So we are curious about CVs that are going like this, and the robots cannot find out. Right? If you go into a robot and you say, oh, first I was doing this, and then I did that, that's another industry, and now I want to be in this industry. The robot will say, minus. Right? Do you get it? Yeah. This is important, and this is hard for some of us, because some of us have actually a lot of different things on the resume, right? Yes. Yeah? Some of you are nodding now. You have different industries. Yeah. And as a headhunter, I don't like people who have different industries. And the robots, they don't like it either. Yeah, it's a problem. We like people who has been in one industry all their life. Damn. Yeah. So, but look into entry positions in the industry that you want to be in. If you're applying all the time and you get rejected for the industry that you want to be in, try to search for lower positions. And I know it sounds ridiculous. Number 2, look for positions similar to what you want, but in other industries. Then go for the position. Like if you want to be in HR, do it in an industry that you haven't been used to, but look for a position that is suited for you. How do we screen candidates? I just talked about the robot that we have, but the only, actually for me and Shakahan in our work, what we do, the only thing we do, we match your CV or resume with the profile. So we take the CV in one hand, and then we have the profile in the other hand. Then we go like this. How are these compared? So when you go through agencies like we are like robots, but it's still people who are doing it, but we're doing this. Right? It's not potential. So even if you write in the cover letter, I have great potential within this industry, I've never worked within it, I don't know anything about it, but I'm sure I have potential. You will be discarded. Right? And also, if you tell that you're a nice person, or what I call nice personal traits, something that should make me want to talk with you, I'm not going to fall for it either. What I'm going to fall for is skills. This is really hard, right? And another thing, do not send me a special layout. It will not change anything. If it's too special, it can even talk against you. There's only one situation where I think a special layout is good. That is where you're applying for jobs within marketing or sales, where you need to have a little bit of a different approach. If you're a web designer or something, design your resume as a web. But in other cases, I just need a normal Word or PDF document, nothing else. The question here is, what if you send me a CV that is 5 pages? Yeah. If you're skilled for the job and you match the job, it doesn't matter how long the CV is. I know that some people are coming here and say, you should keep your resume to a minimum. 2 pages, right? Have you heard that before? Yes. Yeah? Rubbish. It's not true. If you embellish on your CV because you don't have the skills, then it doesn't matter. But in my opinion, the resume is the length of the person, not the length of what I want as a recruiter. So forget that everybody else has said you should keep it as a minimum. Why else should you do that? But I will say there are certain things that should go into the CV. I will tell you about that. Okay? So what are we as headhunters looking for? And I'd like to add here, I'm talking about the headhunter and recruitment industry, but it also goes for companies sometimes in their HR department. And some of you cannot get past these kind of screening processes. That is why you should be intelligent, aggressive, and go past us. Right? You should bypass me. Many of you should actually just bypass people like me. HR, recruitment companies, bypass us if you can. Quite strange to say that, actually. Yeah, but I mean it. I would do that in some of your situations. I would do that. Okay, what are we looking for when we screen a CV? First, we want to see concrete results. That could actually make your CV much longer, right? When you have to write up results from every position that you've ever been in. How many of you have a result-driven resume, and how many of you have not results on? So how many of you have results on your CV? How many of you have not? Okay. You're the guys who need to look on it and again, can I get some results into it? Because we want to see that you have actually made a change or a difference where you've worked before. You get it? For some of us this is hard, because how can I was 8 years working in this company and I did a good job, but I was not really the decision maker, so I couldn't really move anything. Then you need to write up, what did I participate in? I participated in a transition of a big IT system, and I was the super user of the system, something like that. So you have to write up something that has a change in it. Then we also like long-term employment. Yeah, that's not a nice one, right? Why do you think we like long-term employment? Stability. Loyalty, stability. We think that people who have long-term relationships in a company, they are more stable than people are not. Yeah. So some of us has this problem that we are impulsive, or some of us have this problem. We worked in an industry that fired many people many times, like IT people. They have when you see an IT person's CV and you see his CV and he has been working from 2007 to 2010, he can have 4 different jobs, because that was when everything was going like this. So if there is a reason for it, write it in the CV. If you have many changes and this is a problem, then write why. Try to explain it. Okay? Yeah, so we look for long-term employment in the same industry. We also like people who constantly upgrade their competencies. If you constantly seek out competencies and training, which is like going everywhere, right, then it's a problem. But if you are seeking up competencies that are within your industry and within your job, then it's good, right? So if Salesforce was a question, then it would be good if you actually were to work with sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be fantastic. Marketing, some kind of HR even could use people who know about Salesforce. So and the system understanding could also be good. Yeah. So I wouldn't discard that, no matter actually what you want to do. Things to consider when writing your resume: be concrete and concise. It could mean short, but not necessarily. But you have to state exactly why you have stated this in your resume. So concrete things. Display experience with the task that is required in the profile. So tell about a similar or matching thing you did. Right? I'm looking for someone who is extrovert and has a good knowledge of sales, and someone who will go into different cultures and is willing to work in all of Denmark. I have worked in many different cultures with sales, and I'm an extroverted person. Right? We need to map this and key it together. Match keywords from positions. If some of you haven't done it yet, the process is the following. You take the profile from the internet, if there is a profile for the job. Then you go through it and you find keywords for the position. Those keywords you mark in. Then you take your resume and then you see if there's a match. Don't ever just send your resume as it is. And don't ever also send only the LinkedIn profile. Because if you don't change the profile, then there's not a match. And you will cheat the robot. Right? Because the robot has this. It has these keywords. Here you have a database. Go like this. So why is networking not working? Or I'm not saying that networking in itself is not working, but the networking you should do should be intelligent, aggressive. But I have some pros and cons here. The pros for networking is that sometimes the jobs are actually never announced anywhere. So they're never marketed anywhere. They will not be put up on a website. They will not be in any job database. Like, which is the biggest job database in Denmark? Job Index, right? So today they have 15,000 jobs, something like that. 15,000, that's a lot. Yeah. So you can go there, but sometimes the job is not there. So the pro of networking is that sometimes you actually get the news or hear about a job that is not on the market. So that's the pro of networking. Recommendation from people you know to the person responsible. You can use people, I call it as springboards. So imagine that I'm standing here and I want to get to Copenhagen. Then there's a person here. I will just step over that person or ask him to forward me to Copenhagen. You get that too? Because he's the decision maker. I want to talk with him, but there are someone between me and him. Go through him. Yeah, that's the pros for it. The cons is, and that's what I see, unfortunately, a little bit more with people coming from other countries. Just a moment. Danes, we are not very good at networking. Right? We don't understand networking. Right? When you come to me and talk with me in this kind of small talk way and say, "Oh, I think you're a very nice person," I'm going, "What does he want?" Right? So Danish people, we are not very used to it. Actually, it's not a way we work very well. We're trying to learn networking, but most Danes, they just want to know, what do you want? And that's why networking sometimes for us is a little bit scary. You say, "I want to drink a cup of coffee with," oh, why? Why do you want to drink coffee with me is the question. And you should ask yourself the same question. Why do I want to drink coffee with him? Because in the Danish environment, we are result-driven and not as network-driven as could be. So when everybody's saying to you, network, 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 I say, the words of Salman, I say apply, apply, apply. So go more for the decision maker and try to find these people, try to seek them out instead of just networking with everybody. In my line of business, I find the best people for something, right? If they're sitting and saying, "Oh, I'm really not the best person and I don't have anybody recommending me," go out of my office, right? But if you come in and say, "I have 3 people who say I was the best salesperson for 2 years in a row, and I'm really thinking that I can do the job," then I would say, "Okay, probably you can," right? So don't go for that. Of course, there are some Danes who will say, "Well, don't come here and tell me that you're better than me." But that's all around the world, right? It's not only Danish to feel like that. So if you come in with this attitude, then I think it can be a problem. But if you come in like everybody else said, "Well, I'm really fucking good at," sorry that I swear so much, and it's on tape. Yeah. But that's me, and I have my own company, so I decide the ethics. I can swear. So again, you can swear. So don't fall for that if someone is recommending you or someone is leading you on, that it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing.
Can I add something?
Yes, of course.
Nepotism it actually means that person that you recommend, it doesn't mean he's the best person for the job. So network, it can mean that you recommend somebody that is really good for the job, and that's something different than nepotism.
I totally agree. Totally agree. Did we get that on tape too? Good. Sometimes with networking, we tend to focus on networking and not focusing on the goal. The goal when you do networking, what is that? To get a job. Ask for it. Ask for it. Don't ask for networking, ask for the job. Change the attitude. Because I can say no or yes, or I can help you, or I will lead you on to someone else, or whatever.
What do you think about cover letters?
I think cover letters are useless.
So we don't have to send them anyway?
Take this approach that I did before. Take the profile here, your resume here. If they are well connected, then you have a big chance of getting an interview. Right? If a problem that some people have is that they write in the cover letter things that actually should go into the resume instead. And when you don't think about that, then this is the one that the robot sees. This is the one that the person sees. No, sorry, this is the one. Right? So the robot and the person cannot recognize your cover letter actually. So if you feel the need to write a really, really long cover letter, then there must be a reason for your needing to do so. So what is try to go back to the reason why you write very long cover letters. Try to find out, why do I need to do that?
Actually, Torsten, I think I should add to that. It depends on the kind of job.
Oh, yeah.
For example, if you're trying for an academic job,
Yes.
you need a very good
Yeah.
cover letter.
I should say I work not very much for the business that Salemina is in, so the academic side and the public sector and stuff like that, we don't work in that. We work in industries.